Hello everyone, welcome to the Advanced Administrator webinar today. My name is Randy Blatt. I am a Customer Success Manager here with Jazz and I will be hosting the webinar. I want to thank everyone first and foremost for joining and spending some time with us to walk through some advanced features and functionality that Jazz has to offer. A lot that I want to take a look at today, and let's just take a quick look into what we're going to cover. We're going to talk about the template section and just review that. I know most of you are familiar with that, but we will take a good high-level look over the template section. We'll talk integrations and the different partnerships that Jazz has and the integrations we offer, how to easily move data back and forth between Jazz and our partners. We'll talk about interviews and walk through completing an interview guide. We will cover the options and customization of the Jazz hosted careers page, as well as linking Jazz to your actual career page on your website. We will dive into reporting and take a look at some of the most popular reports that Jazz offers, and also take a look at flex reporting and the custom reports that we have as well. Finally, we'll wrap up with offers and e-signatures, and we'll actually create an offer letter and send it out electronically to a test candidate and ask that they sign it electronically. So again, expect about 45 minutes to an hour. Please ask questions at any time. This is an interactive webinar, so use the GoToWebinar control panel on the right side of your screen to ask questions. Follow-up email is going to be sent to everyone with the recorded version of this webinar as well, so keep that in mind. And if you are viewing this as a recording, you obviously, unfortunately, can't ask questions at this point. But support resources, we have quite an abundance of them. A lot of great, easy ways to get a hold of us and ask questions and get answers. Typically, the easiest way to reach us is support@jazz.co. There's also a lot of self-help built into the Jazz platform. The circle with the question mark is on the top of every page in Jazz. You also have the need help bar on the right side of your screen. You can access that at any time for quick answers to your questions. All right, so let's get started. We'll get the administrative things out of the way. And I always like to just kind of mention that this is a test account. This is a demo account that we're taking a look at here. So keep in mind, this is going to look similar to what you have in your account, but there will be some differences in the workflows, workflow helpers, etc. So first and foremost, we're going to take a look and just walk through the different template offerings that we have within Jazz. Hiring workflows is going to be the first jump off point here when you click on the admin tab. And this is really the most important part of Jazz. It's really the building blocks of Jazz. Workflows allow you to align your hiring process with a workflow in Jazz. So as you're moving candidates through the stage in real life, you're easily able to keep them in an organized workflow within Jazz. So when you have a candidate that's phone screening, they'll have a phone screen stage. When you're offering them an offer, there'll be an offer stage, etc. So a lot of flexibility in building out these workflows. If I click into one here, you'll see that we have a number of different stages that are available and a lot of different automated helpers, including emails, tasks, interviews, questionnaires that we can actually attach to the workflow stages. I'm all about automation within Jazz. I always strongly suggest automating as much as you can. It's going to save you a lot of time as far as administrative tasks and things like that go. So you definitely want to build out your workflows and be very, very particular about this. Make sure you're covering all your bases and making it very easy to keep organized and walk candidates through the process. Next, we have questionnaires, and basically these questionnaires can be used in two different ways. One, you can attach a custom questionnaire to your initial application. So the initial application a candidate fills out, you can ask them your own specific set of questions. Now, you can also send a questionnaire to applicants post-application. So what does this mean? Well, we strongly suggest that you keep your application up front. Your initial application very short and sweet. Ask just a few questions that are very important, and ultimately attract passive candidates. Don't have a big long list of questions and make it intimidating, so people will bail on applying or not apply for the job based on the number of questions they have to fill out. So what you can actually do is keep that short and sweet up front. Once the candidate applies, we can automate a questionnaire that goes out to them after they apply. So we get them into the pipeline, then we can send them an additional set of questions after they apply. Interview templates are housed here. You can create as many as you'd like. They can be stored here. A lot of different departments, different hiring managers will have different interview types. So we allow you to easily create those interview templates here and then apply them to any job that you add or are filling moving forward. Evaluations, form of assessment within Jazz, basically, assessing a candidate, evaluating a candidate on a number of different skills. If I click into one, you'll see that a couple of highlights here from evaluations is there is a weighted scale for your responses. So you do have the ability to have a weighted scoring system and also a number of different units of measure. 1 to 10 scale, no, yes, strongly disagree, strongly agree. So really a lot of flexibility in how you're assessing and evaluating a candidate. Evaluations are a great way to work together as a team and identify who's going to be the best fit for the position you're hiring for. Emails, email templates are next, and this is going to be one of the biggest administrative time savers within Jazz. If you automate your emails here, your email templates, if you create your email templates here, you can automate them and send them out automatically as candidates are moved through each stage of the process. You can also select emails from email templates from a drop-down if you're sending an email on demand to a candidate. So the initial time that you spend up front creating these email templates is going to save you a lot of time and effort in the long run. So definitely recommend coming in here and building out your email templates. Big time saver. Categories are next, and this is a great way to pipeline candidates or identify future candidates for positions. A good example of this is, say I'm hiring a Java developer at my current opening is for a Java developer, and I get a PHP developer that comes into the system. And we identify that candidate as a PHP developer, not a great fit for the current role we're hiring for. But what we can actually do is tag them with this PHP developer tag. And then 6 months down the line, when I have a Java or a PHP developer role open, I can easily search and identify all of my candidates tagged with this PHP developer role. So really handy there. Last is the Documents tab, and this is where you're going to upload or preload all of your documents that you're going to use to send to candidates and ask candidates to sign electronically. Good examples here, offer templates. You can have a number of different offer templates stored here that you can, again, send to candidates and ask for signatures on. Pre-employment documents, onboarding paperwork, very, very flexible in the way you can use documents and electronic signatures within Jazz, and I'll actually be walking through that at the end of the call today. All right, so those are the templates. Again, questions, feel free to shoot them over into the GoToWebinar control panel on the right side of your screen. The next section we're going to take a look at is the different integrations that we offer within Jazz. All right, so the first one I want to talk about is going to be LinkedIn Recruiter. And this integration is one of our most popular, really widely used integration amongst our customers. But what this allows you to do is view LinkedIn profiles within Jazz and also send and receive in-mail right within Jazz. So instead of having to toggle back and forth between Jazz and LinkedIn, you can do all of that directly from Jazz. So good time saver, and again, makes things a little bit easier for you. Bamboo HR, Namely, and Zenefits are the 3 different HRIS integrations that we integrate with. Easy to move candidates' personal information from Jazz into all 3 of these systems. So that's really the biggest benefit. And also very simple to integrate. For example, if I want to sync with Namely, all I need to do is go into my Namely account, find my customer subdomain and API secret key, 2 pieces of information, and add it in here, save credentials, and I can easily move data from Jazz into Namely. HackerRank is a coding test platform that's really, really popular right now. You can there's over 30 different programming languages, and you can send coding tests to your candidates. Perfect for if you're hiring an engineer, developer, coder, whoever is in need of a coding test. But this is ultimately going to identify if the candidate has the necessary skills to fill the position you're hiring for. SparkHire is a video interviewing platform that we integrate with the big benefit or the big bonus here is a one-way video interviewing system. So what this actually means is I can type up a list of questions, I can send it out to my candidate, ask them to record themselves answering the questions, and then when they're completed, they can send it back to me. So you get a visual into the candidate right off the bat, mannerisms, gestures, how the candidate responds and speaks. You also have a lot more flexibility in this than, say, for example, a phone screen. So instead of having a mutual beneficial time for both parties, what you can actually do is have a lot more flexibility in this and view the results on your own time. Oracle and TalentWise are the two background check providers we integrate with. Very straightforward here, but makes it very simple to send or request background checks and also view the results of completed background checks right on the candidate profile in Jazz. So again, we're all about organization, keeping everything organized and maintained under one roof, under one candidate profile. That's what all of these integrations are going to allow you to do. Career Builder, Monster, full integrations with both, so you can use your paid credits that you've purchased on Career Builder and Monster and apply them to your jobs that you're posting through Jazz. So it makes it nice and easy to store all of those applicants inside of Jazz as opposed to having those separate applicant buckets. One login and Google single sign-on, very easy ways to log into Jazz. And finally, Google Calendar and Microsoft Exchange, Outlook with Exchange Server. We actually offer calendar syncs with both of these providers. You can easily sync your calendar and your colleagues and view open times or availability of your colleagues, so you can very easily schedule meetings, interviews, etc. right through Jazz. Again, saving you that need to toggle back and forth between Jazz and GCal or Microsoft Outlook. So those are the integrations that we offer. If you are or would like more information on any of these, feel free to reach out to us, support@jazz.co. We have really good contacts at all of these companies that we can put you in touch with so you can get demos and test out these platforms to make sure that they will work for you. All right, so the next area we're going to take a look at is going to be interview guides, and I actually want to walk through an interview guide quickly. I know that we touch on this in the Starter Admin webinar, but this is really important. It's a great way to house all of your interview feedback and work collaboratively as a team to make the best decision on who to hire. So we're looking at my personal assistant position today. We're just going to take a look at Bill Burns. And we're going to assume that Bill is eventually going to be hired for the role of Randy's personal assistant. First and foremost, I'm going to advance Bill into a screen stage. A lot of times folks will say, well, why a screen stage? And really this is a great way to capture the initial feedback or thoughts on the candidate so that you and your hiring team can kind of talk a little bit amongst yourselves and identify if you want to move Bill along in the process. So I'm going to go ahead and advance him into a screen stage. I have this automated helper, automated task I'm going to not assign. And then we're going to say that we've captured all of our feedback and we're moving Bill into a phone screen stage. So in doing so, you'll see under my interviews tab, I have a phone screen interview attached to this stage. A few things to note before I jump into it. From the action drop-down here, you'll see that I can easily schedule my interviews by clicking the schedule button. And I also have this handy little link to the interview guide. So what this means is I can take this link, I can copy and paste it, send it out to anybody, even if they do not have access to Jazz, and they can use that link to complete an interview guide for the candidate. So good for the one-off situations where you have an employee that is going to be completing just a few interviews on a couple of different candidates, but you don't really deem it necessary to add them into the system because their involvement is going to be very limited. You send them this link, they can click the link and fill out an interview guide and capture their feedback right within Jazz. So that's really handy there. When I'm ready to complete the phone screen for Bill, we'll say I have Bill on the phone now. I click the Start Interview button. I enter my name and my email address, and I start my interview. So again, here, a few things to note on the left side. I can view the candidate's resume by clicking the View Resume button. You'll see my resume here. And one thing that's really handy about this screen is there's a little pop-out button on the top right here. If I click that pop-out button, it pulls up a responsive window that I can actually readjust and move around. So I could put the resume on the left side of my screen and my interview guide on the right side. So I can be capturing my notes and feedback here while viewing the candidate's resume here. So keep that in mind, that's really handy. If I also want to view the job details and the qualifications, the job description, I can do that here as well. All right, so Bill's on the phone, and I like to point out the flexibility of interview guides and how you can customize them and how they really work for everyone. They work for all types of customers, all types of interview processes. The first two questions we have here are just simply pros and cons. Paragraph buckets where we can enter pros and cons on the candidate. In this case, we'll say that Bill seems smart, he's funny and professional. And again, just capturing very basic feedback for the demo today. We can also optionally rate the response of the candidate. I recommend doing this. It puts a nice color-coded scheme, color-coded look on the feedback. So I'll show you that here once we're through. Cons, we're just going to say that he lacks some experience. And then moving down, we're going to get into a lot more direct questions and situational, behavioral. Very flexible. You can enter whatever questions you'd like, but you'll see here we could get into specific questions. How many years do you have in television? 3, why did you leave your last position? Bill was not a fan of his boss. Why do you want to work here? We'll say your company is awesome. Give us an example of a time you made a mistake last week. Last thing to note is if you want to add a question on the fly, you can do that. Simply type in your question text here, select your answer type from the drop-down, click Add Question, and then you can add a question on the go. So that's kind of handy if the conversation goes in a different way. So we're going to assume that all of our feedback's been captured. We're comfortable with everything we've entered. I'm going to go ahead and click the Complete Interview button. It's going to prompt me to save all of my answers, which I'm going to. Then I have the option to pass or fail the candidate. So did the candidate pass the interview or fail? In this case, we're going to say that he passed. We're going to say Bill looks like he could be a great fit. And now I complete interview, and I'm all done with my phone screen interview. So this is where the collaboration comes in with your hiring team, hiring managers. You'll see here that I now have a past interview, which I can click on the eyeball to view the details of that interview. So if I have 3 or 4 people who have been involved in phone screens and in-person interviews, they've completed interview guides within Jazz, I'm actually able to access all of that information from this screen here. So I'll see different, passed or failed the interview, an eyeball I can click to view my colleagues and their feedback. The last thing to note is with interview guides, when you complete an interview guide, there's the last section where you can capture comments, and that will also be populated in the discussion tab, so you can access that in the discussion tab as well. All right, that's going to do it for interviews. I just wanted to walk through a guide real quick. Questions, again, it doesn't look like any have come in yet. But if you do have any, feel free to shoot them over in the GoToWebinar window. The next area we're going to take a peek at is going to be job board. We're going to talk about customizing your hosted careers page as well as linking Jazz to your company career page. So every Jazz account comes with what we call a hosted careers page, or basically a career page that we offer to every customer. And it looks something like this. You'll see that we've customized ours with some colors that match the Jazz brand. Also put in a nice company logo here. So this page is going to be accessible for candidates if they find your positions out on a free job board. So say I'm out on Indeed and I'm searching for personal assistant roles in Pittsburgh. I find Randy's personal assistant. I click on the job to apply. It's going to take me to this screen here. Job description on the left, application on the right, but you'll see it's a nice branded look and feel. This is something that we strongly suggest. It creates a nice candidate experience and a good professional image for your company. So how do I actually customize this job board? Well, let's take a look. I'm back in Jazz and I'm under admin in job board. I'm going to go ahead and under the responsive layout, I'm going to click edit this layout. In doing that, the first section is going to be my color selection. I can customize my colors. You'll see here we have a huge color palette. We can select any colors. It's also a hex color code. So if your marketing team or your company has hex color code keys, you can just enter them in here and it'll default the color. Next section is company logo. You can easily select a company logo that's stored on your computer and upload it here. Below that, we see a job board messaging section. And this is really, I like to say, brag about your company or talk about the perks and why it's so great to work for your company. This is a full HTML editor here, so you can easily toggle back and forth. Great place to embed media. If you have pictures or videos, you can put them in here. But again, just talk about benefits, perks, etc., and why candidates would want to work for your organization. Last but not least is a CSS styling area. If you have a developer or coder who has experience with CSS, they can easily come in here and get really customizable with the page. You can add different background images, animations, text, different text formats, etc. So CSS can be completed here. So if you're new to Jazz, again, always suggest doing this. If you've been with Jazz for a while and you have not kind of doctored up your hosted page, I recommend doing it as soon as possible. All right, so now let's talk about moving or linking Jazz to your career page. The easiest way to do that is with what we call our widgets. And again, I'm under admin in job board here. If I scroll down a little bit, you're going to see a section called Jobs Widget. So what a widget is basically a small line of script that's inserted into the back end of your career page, and it creates a live real-time feed between Jazz and your career page. So when I open a job inside of Jazz, it'll automatically display it on my career page. When I close a job or fill it in Jazz, it'll pull it down from my career page automatically. So installation of these widgets, you'll see there's two different options, and I'll actually show you examples here in just a second. Installation is very simple. Generally takes 5 minutes or less for your web team, your web developer, to take this small line of script, insert it into the back end of the career page, and that's it. Very simple to install. It's a one-time install. And again, it's going to populate an iframe on your career page with a live feed of all of your open jobs from Jazz. So let's take a look at a couple of examples. We'll start with the basic widget. And this is a customer of ours, NanoString. NanoString uses our basic widget really well. You'll see they put a picture in here, some information on the company. And below that, you're actually going to see all of the information populated by the basic widget. Everything from this accounting and finance down is going to be their job openings inside of Jazz. So from a candidate perspective, very, very simple for me to click View Details, take a look at the job description, qualifications, and click Apply Now. The actual application pops up right within the Jazz career page. Right within the customer's career page. There's no redirects. There's no potential for the candidate to get lost. It's all done right here. It's all branded out to the company. So very simple to apply for your positions using our widget. Once I'm completed, I also have access to find other positions that I'm interested in and apply for as well. Now, the advanced widget is going to be found here. This is a customer of ours, Sagiza, who uses it really well. Everything from this light gray box down is going to be populated by our advanced widget. You'll see that Sagiza has quite a long list of open positions. So the big advantage of the advanced widget is the ability to search and filter jobs by a number of different criteria. I have the search bar here, and I also have my advanced search here. So let's just say, for example, I'm only interested in positions located in California. I can go ahead and select California and search my jobs, and I get one opportunity that's open. Easy to narrow down the location of your jobs and to search. And again, from a candidate perspective, very simple to apply. I click on the link for the position, and I click Apply Now. Again, everything is completed on the career page, on the company career page. And again, you have that nice branded look and feel, no redirects, lots of positives here. So I would say really about 95% of our customers use one of our widgets. They're very popular just because of how easy they are to install and maintain. The last option you have is using our API, our XML feeds to create your own fully custom career page, which again, about 5% of our customers use. So a lot of development work involved with that. Keep that in mind. That's something that you're going to have an in-house developer putting in some time. So that is a third option, but just wanted to make you aware of that. So two more things to touch on when it comes to career page and hosted career page look and feel. You'll see that you can change the job sort order. So if you want to change the way the jobs look and the way they're sorted, you can do that here. And last but not least, this social media image. So Jazz makes it really simple to share your jobs out on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, etc. And if you add an image here or upload an image from your computer, it puts a nice branded look and feel on any share that you have. So if you're going out on LinkedIn and sharing a position and saying, hey, we have an opening for an account executive, they can basically see that it's a nice branded logo with the Jazz logo. So definitely recommend doing that. All right. Questions on career page. It does look like we had one question come in, and it's regarding the advanced widget. So yeah, Mike, good question. So with the advanced widget, it's a line of code, and then it's just a simple zip file. This helper file is actually a zip document that you can download and also send to your web developer. It's super easy to install on the back end of the career page. Your developers will not have any problem. It's basically just like a helper file or some additional links, additional connections that connect the advanced widget from Jazz to your career page. Yeah, good question though. All right, I don't see any other questions that have come in. Let's go ahead and move on to reports. I want to talk about reports, and this is one of my favorite areas within Jazz because I understand the importance of reporting for a number of you out there. You have managers and executives that are looking and asking how the recruiting team's doing, how's the HR department functioning, and this is a great way to pull that information and present it to your executives. So I click on reports, and the first section I want to take a look at is over on the left side, our standard reports. I'm going to click into overall source quality to start. And I just want to kind of talk about our reports for a second here. We have a lot of icons and helper text or Sherpa text built into our reports section. You'll see if I hover over any eye icon, if I hover over any column header, I can easily get information on what I'm looking at. We have a heart icon here, which is to save a report as a favorite, and I'm going to actually show you how that works in just a second. But really easy to save reports as a favorite and run it on demand. We also have export to CSV. All of our reports are able to be put into Excel and easily manipulated. And basically, you could do whatever you like in there: pivot tables, VLOOKUPs, graphs, etc. Last but not least, built-in filters. They're going to be listed on all of our reports here as well. So time filters and also a number of other different filters that are built in that we'll take a look at. So overall source quality, the first report we're looking at here is going to essentially tell us where our candidates are coming from, where are they applying from, and then who are we hiring based on where those folks are applying from. So great for if you have a budget and you're looking to allocate spend, this is going to help you to identify where to allocate that spend. So great information coming from there. Application conversion is one of my favorite reports. This is going to tell us how many times your job has been viewed, and out of those views, how many folks actually applied. So my personal assistant role has been viewed 58 times. I've had 22 applicants for a conversion rate of 38%. So relatively high, that's a pretty good percentage. If you do have a low conversion rate, what can you do to improve that? What kind of perks? How can you brag about your company more to make your job, description more appealing and your company as a whole sound more appealing? Hiring pipeline by job. This is going to tell us how candidates are moving through the process. So we'll see over the last 14 days, there's been 6 applicants for my personal assistant role. I've advanced 4 into an active workflow stage. We've completed 3 interviews, so on and so forth. But just a good way to find out when candidates or where candidates are falling off. And again, these filters are great because now you can see I can look over the last year and my number gets a lot bigger, kind of balloons. So great information pulled from this report. Interviews and offers, both relatively simple. Going to tell you how many interview interview guides were completed within Jazz. Breaks it down by phone and in-person interviews. Offers, going to be the same thing. How many offers were created, accepted, rejected, and how many are still out there in a pending status. Time to hire, this is one of the most important and the #1 report used within Jazz. This is going to tell you how long it's going to take from a candidate applying to your position to when you're actually marking them as hired. Really, really important to hire candidates quickly and make decisions quickly. The longer that it takes to hire candidates, the more likely it is that they find another position, accept another position, or they're poached by another company, something along those lines. So make sure you're tracking your time to hire. Make sure you're setting goals to lower it, to get it as low as you possibly can. And using Jazz to track that makes it very, very simple. All right, so the legacy reports section is next, and there's great information here, but two reports I really like to cover. First is the candidate records data download. When I click this link here, it's going to pull up a CSV document with all of my raw information from my candidates. So every piece of candidate information that's been entered in the system is now visible here inside of this CSV file. Salary information, questionnaire answers, responses, EEO information is all found here. So great report. Again, take this, manipulate it as you please. If you have a high level of Excel skills, you can really get crazy with the way you move that data around. Compliance is another really important report that a lot of our customers really enjoy, and some of them require. You'll see there that I can easily run an external hires by race and sex report, break it down by different jobs. I can also select a different date range, but just as an example, I'm going to go with that. And you'll see here that it's just a very easy chart to take a look at, read, understand. Gives me the diversity of my candidates, the background of my candidates, and the gender. I can easily export this to CSV. If I want to change my filters, I can do that here. But very, very easy to operate and to get great data into a nice, easy to read format. All right, the last area of reports I want to take a peek at is this creating custom reports. And this is really powerful. This is a really robust tool that, frankly, I think is an industry leader for us. You'll see that I have this create custom report button. And when I click on it, it pulls up a number of different columns that I can actually pick and choose to enter into my report. Now, for the sake of this example, I'm just going to go through and select some columns to report on. We'll look at the first name, last name, email, and the candidate. How about when the candidate applied and the source that they came from? We'll take a look at the workflow status that they're currently in. And finally, the job title. So again, pretty much any piece of information that is inside of Jazz can be pulled in one of these columns. On the right side, you'll also see that I can click, hold, and drag to reorder, and click the X to remove. When I'm comfortable with the columns I have, I generate my report. Jazz works its magic behind the scenes, and you'll see that my information is populated. So first thing I like to show here is the save as a favorite or heart a report. This is really, really handy for folks that run, say, a weekly report. We'll say a weekly candidate report. Every week, your manager wants a review of all the candidates that have applied over the last week. So I'll save this as a favorite. Again, Jazz working its magic behind the scenes. Then I'm going to jump back into our main reports section. So say it's the following week, and I'm ready to run my weekly candidate report. I now just click into my reports tab, and under my favorites, you'll see that I now have this weekly candidate report in here. I simply click the button, pulls all of the information, all of the columns that I've already selected, and it essentially becomes an on-demand report. Now, what's great about this is if I want to filter this and break it down further before I put it into an Excel spreadsheet, I can do that by clicking our filters here, selecting another date range, and narrowing down my search. But we make it very easy to have on-demand reports. You can edit the columns by clicking this button in the top right if you want to change the look and feel of the columns. And finally, you can export, again, every report within Jazz is exportable to CSV, so you can easily do that here. So really robust tool and very, very easy to use, and allows you to pull really, really great data from the system and provide it to your managers, executives, etc. So my suggestion is always to go into the reports section and kind of sandbox around, play around in there, and just get a good look and feel of what reports you can run and what information you can pull. Alrighty, that's going to cover reports. Again, it doesn't look like any questions have come in. A quiet crowd today, no worries. With that being said, we're going to jump into the last section, the last topic that I want to cover today. And that's going to be creating an offer template and sending it out to a candidate. So I want to come back and jump back into our admin section here under our documents section. And you'll see that I've already preloaded a couple of offer templates in the documents section, but I want to talk about uploading an offer template into Jazz. So all I have to do to upload a new offer is to go to this plus new document button and create an offer template. I choose the file from my desktop and upload it. Now, before you do that, we make it really simple for you to pre-populate information into the offer letter. What I mean by that is, we'll just take a look. It says download fields template. I click that button, and it pulls up a number of different tokens that I can use to pre-populate information on my offer letters. So all I do is, say I have a Word document, all I do is take these tokens, insert them into my Word document, save it to my desktop, and then upload it into Jazz. And anytime I create an offer letter in Jazz, this token information is going to be automatically populated when creating an offer letter. So what does that look like? Again, I mentioned earlier we have a few offer templates that have been uploaded, and if I click on the one that I've uploaded, it's going to pull up the Word document, and this is where you're going to see the token fields that we've used. So candidate first name is going to pull the candidate's first name automatically for us, the office location, position title, gets very granular down into paid time off, sick days, etc. But this is going to be a big time saver for you and your team. Also going to help to eliminate the human error effort, or the human error element. It does reduce human error. It makes things a lot easier for you. All right, so I've uploaded my offer template, and now I want to go ahead and create an offer letter. So as I mentioned earlier, we're going to assume that we're going to hire Bill Burns. He's moved through all of our stages. We've interviewed him a couple of times in person. Let's see, we have a number of automated helpers here. I'm just going to skip over for now. He's completed an evaluation, and he's completed it with flying colors. And finally, he's in an offer stage. So I'm going to jump over to our Documents tab here. And the first thing I'm going to do is click the plus Add Offer button, because I'm going to create an offer letter for Bill. So Bill, we're just going to call it Bill B Offer. We're going to select the Jazz Webinars template that I have uploaded under my admin tab. And we're going to change the visibility to allow everyone to see it. So now I'm going to populate the information that's going to be found in my offer letter. Anything that's highlighted in green here is going to be a token field. So if it's green, it means that I have a token in my offer template that is going to be populated when I enter information here. Some of the information will be automatically populated, like position title, candidate name, etc. But some of this you will have to go in and enter manually. For the sake of example, I'm just going to go ahead and walk through this relatively quickly. As I mentioned earlier, you see how granular it gets: stock options, discretionary bonuses, commissions, payment frequency. A lot of really good information can be found here. So once I have all of my fields populated, I'm comfortable with the information I have that's going to be sent and put into my offer letter. I go ahead and click Save Offer. I am given one last shot just to kind of review all of the details of the offer information. And I go ahead and click Generate Letter to generate my offer. Again, I'm going to call it Bill B Offer. I'm going to allow everyone to see it. And I generate. So here's my offer. It's created and now visible here as a Word doc in Documents. So if I click on it just to put a good visual on this for you, you'll see that all the information from my token fields are populating. Bill, Randy's personal assistant, Pittsburgh, PA location, salary, PTO, sick days, all that information is now in my offer letter. So now let's send it to Bill and ask him to sign it electronically. Very simple. All I have to do here is just click this Send e-Document button. I'm going to name it one last time. We'll call it, again, Bill B Offer. Oops. Below that, I'm going to be able to select the documents. So all I'm going to do is select my offer template at this point. Keep in mind that you can select multiple documents here if you'd like. If you have an offer letter and then you also send an employee handbook, you can select both of those here. I'm going to add my document. I'm going to, again, select my visibility and allow everyone to see this. And the next section is cool because you can actually add multiple signers and carbon copies to this document. So say I need to add a signer to the document, and I'm going to ask Michael Jones, who is our HR manager, to sign this document as well. You'll see I can add him, and I can easily reorder. Oops. There we go. So I can ask Bill Burns to sign first and Michael to sign second. Again, if you want to add a CC, you can do that here. So I can compose the subject of my email that is going to be sent to the candidate. In this case, I'm just going to use very generic information. Please sign the following offer. Again, you can use a fully custom body and subject line here. So it's very flexible. The last thing I would need to do before I actually start putting in my signature fields is select yes here. Now, selecting yes is going to track this as an offer letter. This is important because you want to make sure that your reports are accurate and you're getting good reporting data. So ensuring that this is selected as yes will track it as an offer. So now I'm going to click Assign Fields and Send. And this is going to take us into really the magic of the e-signature creation and being able to assign signature fields and send it out to candidates. So it's going to give us a preview of our offer letter that we've created here. And then up above, I have these different boxes, these populated boxes that all I have to do is click, hold, and drag. And I can actually add as many of these as I'd like. Now we're going to ask Bill to sign the top, and then we're going to ask Michael to sign the bottom. And we're going to put a signature date field in here. So this will be populated automatically when a candidate signs. And if you'd like, we can put initial fields. You have a lot of flexibility in the fields that you put into your templates. All right, so what I'm asking for here is initials and signatures from both Bill and Michael. I'm comfortable with what I have. I've taken one last quick review over the offer letter. I click continue, and it sends the document out to both Bill and Michael. Now, inside of Jazz, a couple of things to note. We have an in progress bar here. So this is going to show us that the document has been sent. It's in progress. We're waiting for signatures from both Bill and Michael. You'll see 2 question marks appearing now. Once it's signed, that question mark will turn into a check mark to confirm that it's been signed. And once it's been fully executed or fully signed by both parties, you will see a document, a completed document, inside of the candidate profile in the Documents tab. It's also going to send an email to each signer that notifies them that the document has been fully executed, everybody has signed, and it's been completed. This will turn into completed as well, just noting that the document's been completed. And then we can take Bill and we can say, hey, we hired Bill. And that's going to do it for setting an offer. Keep in mind that it's very flexible. Our eSignatures function is very, very, very flexible. So you can use it to sign onboarding paperwork. A number of different documents can be created and sent using our eSignature function. So highly encourage everyone to do that. It's going to be a big time saver. Also eliminate the use of paper and keeping everything digital for you and your team. All right, well, that's going to do it for the webinar today. Again, I thank everyone for joining, and if you're watching this as a recorded version, thank you for spending the time watching this. If you have questions, again, the easiest way to reach out to us is support@jazz.co, or use many of the self-help features that we have within the platform. Thanks again, everyone. I encourage everyone to attend future webinars. I hope everybody has a great rest of the day, and I hope to see everybody soon. Thanks. Take care.